Great day, attractive thinker, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your identity coach and get to the root specialist at the Attractive Thinker Guru. This is where we support new and aspiring entrepreneurs who are facing any type of change or transformation, or you're experiencing procrastination, lack, doubt, fear while you're trying to write your books and create your business ideas. We have mental tools for mental healing, mental strength, and mindset maintenance. Welcome my co-host, Tichet Bradshaw, the visual encourager, to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance.
Happy Mindset Monday, everybody. We made it through another week of power, love, and peace and joy. We get to do what we never did, go where we've never gone, and have all that we deserve to have in this lifetime. It's a great day to be alive.
Yes, it is, Attractive Thinker. I trust you have your Attractive Thinker notebook handy to capture these gems. You have to capture them. We never know when a gem is going to rise to the surface. So you just have to be ready, because you're going to need these all throughout the rest of your week to apply to your life and your business, whatever it is you're facing right now, to help you get through it and thrive and prosper in these areas of your life and business. Today, we're going to be talking about living life beyond a break, be it a heartbreak or a break in a success. Today's topic is memories. We all have them, but they don't have to be a living hell. I want you to think, well, write that in your Attractive Thinker notebook. Memories. It doesn't have to be a living hell. Now, in order for our memories not to be a living hell, to shed, we have to have a certain perspective about them, and we get to choose that perspective. We don't have to accept the perspective that was offered to us or the first one that presented itself to us. We get to choose. Now, how do you choose your perspective? Tune into how you feel. When you get the memory and you realize you're sitting there thinking about things that happened or something that you experienced that wasn't so favorable, or sometimes people say, leave a sour taste in my mouth, or you get stuck in that memory and in that feeling of regret and shame and guilt and shoulda, coulda, wouldas. As soon as you get that feeling, when you get the memory, it comes with the feeling. If that feeling makes you withdraw, stop writing your book, or not see your business idea as something that you should pursue, or if you don't see it as valuable, or if that memory triggers a feeling that makes you feel less than what you're worth, then you know the perception that you have of that memory is off a bit, because it's not triggering good feelings. Now, you might say, well, Dr. Toni, the memories that I have are not going to trigger good feelings because it hurt. It was devastating. It was traumatic. I get that. I too have had my own experiences. So let me use myself so that you can get a picture into what I'm trying to show you. So I've had traumatic experience that brought me to my knees. Traumatic experiences, whereas I cry and no more tears were produced, just sounds. That's how deeply in pain I was about these experiences. Now, years have gone by and I'm not experiencing those situations anymore, but I have memories. And it's not like I sit and dwell and ponder on these memories. It's just like out of the blue, sometimes something will trigger a memory. If I could be in a conversation, it'll trigger a memory. Somebody will ask me a question, it'll trigger a memory. They want to hear my story, and I have to relive my story when I retell it. Now, and that can trigger a memory. Or I could be out and about and hear a song and it triggers a memory. I could see a bumper sticker or a billboard, or hear a conversation, with other people, that are around me, and it trigger a memory. And that memory could cause a tear to come into the corner of my eye. Now, I have a choice in this moment right there. I have a choice. I can accept. Now, this is what happens for me, to shut, and it may happen the majority of the time for attractive thinkers and visual encouragers. When you first get the memory, the perspective that makes you feel good about the space that you're in now is not the first perspective that comes. When the memory comes, it's always a perspective that makes you feel like it was something else you could have done to avoid it, or it was your fault. And if you hadn't said or done this, then that or this or that wouldn't have happened. It's always that perspective. You know, why does it always have to be that perspective that contributes to and reinforces my shame, guilt, and regret, and depression, and fear, and anxiety? So this in this moment is where you have a choice. A choice is making a conscious decision that this is the direction that I'm going in, or this is how I'm going to perceive. Or think about it. Your perception is your choice, attractive thinker. You don't have to think. Now, there are two ways. You do get to choose. The perception of it being your fault, you could have did something to change it or make it better, or it happened because you're not worthy, or you're nothing, or you're not good enough. That's a perception. It is available, and you have a right to choose it if that's what you want. But there's also another perception available, which fosters you understanding who you are, and that you didn't just experience that, but you made it through it. That's something different there. It's one thing to experience something, but to make it through it, that means you weren't the person that was supposed to die in it. You weren't the person that situation was supposed to overtake you. If you experienced it and made it through it, that's a whole different kind of person right there, Tichet. That is not just a survivor. What it means to me, when somebody experiences something and they make it through it, it means that they were bigger than what they encountered. It means that they were strong enough to handle it. It means that that situation was not designed to kill them or destroy them or make them feel less than themselves. It means that there was a power inside of them that ushered them through that, not just to come out of it, but to go into something grander. So we get to choose our perspective. I had an experience yesterday. I took my son to the eye doctor, and this eye doctor has so many. I mean, we could sit there for years, and he would have story after story after story about eye conditions and how people have lost not just low vision or have lost their vision, but this eye doctor in particular deals with people who have lost their eyeballs, not vision, the whole eye. So this doctor had story after story after story after story. And when he got to the particular eye condition that my son had, which is retinoblastoma, and he started telling story after story after story after story. And when he stepped out of the room, my son and I engaged in a conversation, and he realized how blessed he was and what he actually escaped going through that path of retinoblastoma, which is cancer in the eyes, in the retina of both of the eyes. And when this doctor began to tell a story after story, like, babies, he said when a child, he said, like, what are you supposed to do? And this is the mentality of the doctors 30 years ago when we encountered this experience. He was like, when a child is born with cancer, what do? You have to take the eyes immediately. There's nothing else to do if the child is born with cancer. So when he left the room, my son and I talked about that, and we realized that he was given an opportunity to have vision the first 4 years of his life, because that was the first message that the doctor said to me when he was diagnosed at 10 months old, is that the only treatment for this retinoblastoma is to have the eyes removed. He was supposed to have his eyes removed at 10 months old, but faith in a greater outcome, faith in something else other than the doctor's prognosis, is what gave him 4 years of vision, 4 years of eyesight before that actually happened. So a perspective, attractive thinker, this is what I'm trying to share with you. Your perspective is more real than your reality. Your reality is what you're experiencing right now, and it's based on your perception, because the same reality is happening for your neighbor, and they have a different perception about it, and you can get two different experiences and outcomes from it. What I'm trying to share with you is this: we all have memories. They don't have to be a living hell based on your perception of them. Back to you, Tichet.
There's one thing that I wanted to say while I was listening to you. Um, we have to understand that once we know that we have an opportunity to heal in all areas, we have to literally make the decision. Like you said, we have to choose the healing. The problem that a lot of us tend to come against is not knowing that we have the option to choose or have the option to heal. A lot of us think that once we go through something, we have to keep dealing with it over and over again, and it just kind of drags like a monkey on your back through your entire life. But it doesn't have to be that way. You do not have to feel this way. Now, a lot of us went through stuff that we did not want to go through, and that wasn't warranted. It felt like you wanted to lose your mind, but you didn't. We have went through things that we can't undo, right? And so with saying that, once we understand that we have the opportunity to heal, and we have that in our mind, and we make the decision to try and pursue that healing, the options open up to us. While we have those options in our mind, the way that we perceive a thing is how we perceive a thing. So if we feel like we don't have a healing, or we can't be healed, or we can't do anything, then we're just stuck with the problem, then we won't look for the opportunity to heal. But now that we understand that we have the option to healing, and we look for it with everything we have, then I'm hoping that this statement will allow you to see the healing in it. So when we make a decision to heal, those opportunities will present itself. Like when you're looking for the option to have joy, the option to heal, the option to be free, the option to be abundant. You know what I mean? Like when you're looking for health, like for instance, when I learned that I didn't have to be sick, I start looking for every opportunity that can help me not be sick. And I end up creating the healing because I was open to receiving the healing that's already given to us. There's an answer for everything in this earth, whether you know it or not. There's answer for everything in this earth. So we don't have to carry around what's going on, the cards that we are dealt, along with this monkey on our back throughout our entire life because of what happened. And a lot of us, we're upset about what happened. We're not making light of what happened. We're simply telling you how to turn your pain into power, how to allow your pain to give you the power to push past everything that you have been through, to push past what's coming ahead of you. Learning how to turn your pain into power is that's a gift in itself, right? Because you're taking something that was supposed to kill you and allowing it to give you life. Okay. So what's going on is when we see that option and we take that opportunity, and opportunity presents itself, we say yes to the opportunity. Remember we shape our lives with the series of yes and no's. When we say yes to the opportunity of healing, we're saying yes to being open to different ways that it could come through. We're saying yes to seeing an answer that's not quite conventional, seeing an answer that might not come through the normal way. And with that, you get answers that are supernatural. You get answers that nobody would ever expect. And so you create an answer in the earth. You get what I'm saying? Meaning somebody else don't have that answer, but you have that answer simply because you chose the option to heal. Knowing that you don't have to carry around that pain is the first step to letting yourself heal. Because as long as you feel like you got to carry it around, you're going to carry it around. And so with making the option or taking the opportunity to let it go, and we're not saying let it go like it didn't exist or let it go like it doesn't matter or anything like that. We're saying that yes, you own what happened. You cannot go back and change what happened, unfortunately, but you can change how you perceive it going forward. And if these memories are coming up and causing pain, that's because there's a healing that still needs to take place. We still have to face what happened, face why it happened, and face how that which has happened is now done, right? Something can take 2 minutes to hurt you, but take 20 years to continue the results of it, the aftermath. So we're talking about dealing with the aftermath here. The aftermath sometimes can be a little more painful than the actual event because you're allowing the aftermath to recreate that event over and over and over again. So what happens is you have a situation, a circumstance happen, you hear a song, you see a person, and like you said, you have those triggers, and all of a sudden, all of it comes rushing back to your face, and it's as if it brought yesterday in today. Well, you have a choice to not have yesterday and today, and that takes hard work. That takes diligence. It takes a lot of faith and a lot of prayer to allow yourself to be healed from it so that you don't have to face the aftermath every single day. The thing to do is to understand that it didn't kill you, right? It didn't kill you. It might have almost, but it didn't kill you. So now what do? Now you allow yourself to find the answer for why you had to go through that, because the answer is deeper than something physical. The answer is deeper than surfaced. Sometimes things happen to, believe it or not, save you. I've had a lot of situations growing up that just was so uncalled for or just put me in a depressive state. And I feel as though a lot of those situations and circumstances was to save me from, I would say, just being an average person when I called for greatness. When you call for greatness, that comes with some things. That comes with some shifting and some shaping of your life. And also, some of us are actually sifting. Like you're sifting through the people in your life, you're sifting through the opportunities, and you're sifting through the things that you wanted in your life and the things that you didn't want in your life. Some things show up because you called for greatness, right? And you say, well, if I call for greatness and I didn't want to, if I call for greatness and that happened, then I don't want the greatness. Your spirit does. Your spirit wants you to be great, but you have to accept the healing, right? You have to accept the healing given to you. Carrying around the pain does not help. Carrying around this is what that person did, and this is what they did to me, and this hurt, and this was the effect of that, and I can't never turn it around, and I got to do this, and I gotta keep doing that, and now I got to sit in this misery. You don't have to. That's what we're trying to say. You don't have to sit in a living hell in your mind if you learn how to maintenance your mindset. When you learn how to maintenance your mindset and you allow yourself to access the power of now, right? Meaning now is the most important thing. And I had to do this just recently myself because, like you, Dr. Toni, I had listened to some songs. I was cleaning at first and having a good time, and I was listening to some music, and then a song came up, and I thought, well, I'm more conscious now. Let me see what this song is about now that I'm more conscious, because it felt like it always had a message. And I listened to the song, and oh my goodness, the song was so heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking, right? And I hear my spirit say, turn it off. But here's the thing. I was a little stubborn that day because I was cleaning. I didn't want to stop what I was doing. I was like, yeah, I'll just turn it off, when I'm done this. And it's like your spirit says, turn it off, because you don't realize you're re-stabbing yourself with your pain, right? So the song ended up breaking my heart. And I sat there and I was like, well, I didn't even think that was something that could break my heart. I didn't even connect the dots. So at that moment, I took the opportunity to connect the dots. I took the opportunity to see why that song had so much effect on me. And that's because there were memories in the back of my mind that was still there that needed to be dealt with, that needed to come up, that needed to be uprooted. There was some feelings that was there that I was still carrying that I didn't know. And so here's the thing, nothing happens for nothing. Everything has a reason and a purpose, believe it or not. Everything has a reason. And that reason you might not agree with all the time, but it does have a reason. And someday down the road, you will. Someday down the road, when you become healed and free, you'll look back at your own story and say, I thank God for everything I've had to go through. I'm thankful for every tear that I've cried. I'm thankful for every no, and I'm thankful for every yes, because it made me to this moment right here. And that's what we're trying to get you to, that moment, that moment where you can be grateful for what you went through, right? And the reason why you can be grateful for what you went through is because you did the work to have the healing. And you did the work to have the healing because you know that healing exists. You know that the healing is there. Another thing we were talking about is, Dr. Toni, you were talking about these triggers. When we have these triggers, right? And we know these triggers come up, we have to pay attention to why the triggers came up, right? But while we're in the healing process and we're trying to figure out why this triggered us, let's not keep going towards those triggers. Like, turn off that song for a minute while you can figure out why that song triggered you. Because that means that there's something in you that has not been dealt with, that has not been healed. And you feel that pain. Like, it's almost like that song was stroking the pain. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the song was like, I don't know, it's like stroking the pain, like a deep tissue massage, but not in a relaxing kind of way. Where, you know, somebody, you have a pain in your back, you didn't know until they touched it, and then they kneaded in it, and it was like stroking the song. I mean, it was stroking the muscles, and then you end up in more pain afterwards than when you started. It just kind of felt like that. That was the best way I could describe it. But I was like, why was that a trigger? Why did it came up? And I was dealing with some of the separation that I was having with some of my family, and it felt like I had missed something, or it felt like I had missed a childhood or things like that. It was just like some sort of things came up. So I began to sit and talk about what was going on. And then I had to, the one way that I was able to come back from that was to face my now. I'm not in that position anymore. I'm not that young girl anymore. I'm not dealing with that right now. Right now is good. Right now is power. Right now, I've come through all of this stuff, and I don't want to give up that in order to carry that. I've already carried the lesson and the blessing from what happened, but now I'm taking those lessons and those blessings and allow it to create an energy that allows me to go forward in it without taking the pain of it. But there was some still left in there, so I had to literally do the work to figure out why that was triggering me, and then to figure out how to transfer myself from that moment to this moment. The power of now is the best way to kind of help you when you are triggered. It helps you to understand that in this moment, you're not that girl, and you have to forgive it. We have to forgive yesterday. Yesterday hurt, yes, but the forgiveness of yesterday is very important. It's so important that if we hold on to that and the pain, we are blocking the blessings for the future. And the reason why is because forgiveness allows us to be free to receive more without prejudices. So basically, when we're doing the power of now and we are having these memories and we're being triggered from these memories, we're doing the work to help with those triggers. We understand that we have a choice. And when we have the choice and we take the choice and we say yes to the opportunity and we're willing to face the work, right? Because as soon as you make a choice, you take one step, you said yes. Now you got to be willing to do the work to break free from it. Now you got to be willing to face the thing you didn't want to face. You got to be willing to look in the face your pain. Why did my heart break from that song? Why did my heart break from hearing that word? Why did my heart break when so-and-so said a certain statement? It should not have broke that hard from that specific statement. And the reason why it broke is because we need to acknowledge that. We need to acknowledge what those feelings are. Not sit in those feelings, but sit with those feelings for a second and assess why it's coming up. And ask yourself, are you still in that same position? And are you still dealing with the aftermath of it? The answer would be yes with the aftermath, but you are not still in that position. The aftermath is there until you allow yourself to let it go. And again, it goes back to a choice, and the choice goes back to understanding that you have that choice. So we don't have to live life carrying every situation at the forefront of our mind, overthinking it through the night. Every night or every time you get some happiness, you're waiting for a carpet to be pulled under you because that's what you're used to. That is a sign that we need healing when it comes to blessing. We need healing when it comes to what we have went through over and over again, when we expect that what we went through to keep happening over and over again. We're recreating it in our mind. It might not ever happen again in your life, but you're recreating it in your mind over and over, and you're bringing yesterday into today. And that's what's blocking tomorrow, because you'll keep recreating out of that energy the world for tomorrow, and you don't want that world to look like the world you have today, which been having blocks come up because you can't get past what happened. I had to work on that so much throughout these past couple of years, on unblocking myself by having that forgiveness for myself, for yesterday, everybody that was involved, the situation, what I thought about the situation. I had to understand that at that moment, I made the best decision that I could based on what I knew at the time. And then I had to understand that it's not, you always say this, it's not personal, it's preparation. You say that in your book. You say, it's not personal, it's preparation. What are we preparing for? That calling, that life of greatness we wanted, is preparing us for a world that we could ever imagine, more than we could ever imagine. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
So fantastic and amazing, Tichet. So many points that I want to bring out. We're talking about choosing a healthier perspective when our memories are triggered, because it doesn't have to be a living hell. Now, in order for us to do that, we have to choose a healthier perspective. So I was taking some notes, as you can see in my Attractive Thinker notebook. I was taking some notes, and I want you to understand that choosing a healthier perspective is an intentional act. So I want to take that even further. Choosing a healthier perspective of the memories that cause you pain and trigger trauma, choosing a healthier perspective is an act of self-love. Now, let me go deeper with that, because it's a choice. When you intentionally choose a healthier perspective, meaning a perspective of a memory that doesn't cause you to break down again or cause you to feel less than yourself, than your real worth and who you really are, causes you to feel unworthy and guilty and shameful, causes you to pull back from your dream, pull back from your business and your book idea, pull back from the thing that change or transformation you want to make in your life. Anytime you have a memory that triggers an emotion that causes you to pull back, this act of self-love, this choosing another perspective, is a way of you choosing you, attractive thinker. I want you to think about that, because if you don't intentionally choose a healthier perspective, your mind and memory will beat you up mentally. It will beat you. And when you're in a mental fight and a mental battle and you're not winning, nothing that you put your hands to will win. Everything around you is affected. I'm trying to show you why it's important to choose a healthier perspective. The value of intentionally choosing what you think about what you went through. The value of intentionally choosing how you're going to feel about what you went through. Because you don't have to feel what you're feeling. You get to choose what you feel. And I'm telling you, it's real simple. If I say choose joy, choose a feeling of joy right now. If I say think a thought that puts a smile on your face, you can do that at will. So it's an intentional act. Like Tichet said, when the song came on, the spirit told her not to listen to that song. But I took some notes while you were talking about that, Tichet. There was something in your emotional energy that needed that feeling triggered. It needed that song to continue to play because it was fueling the energy of the emotion. It was fueling the emotion of the memory. And in order for you to not trigger that emotion, that old record that's playing, that old energy, in order for you not to trigger that, you had to turn the song off. You had to not listen to it. I want you to think about that, attractive thinker and visual encourager, because we do have choices. Our perceptions can be a choice. And when you choose your perception, I'm sure you're not going to choose a perception that disempowers you versus empowering you, because attractive thinkers need power to continue to create and express ourselves in the world. Another thing you said, Tichet, was mindset maintenance. Mindset maintenance. Now let's take this another perspective of this. Sometimes it can be very difficult to choose another perspective, a healthier perspective. Sometimes these memories catch you unaware. They catch you on the blind side. You're going about your happy go lovely day, and all of a sudden a memory gets triggered. You see, we don't know when these memories are going to get triggered. Just like we don't have control over all of the thoughts that come across our consciousness in the course of a day. What we do have control over is the ones that we meditate on and think about on a regular basis. We have control over that. So when it comes down to mindset maintenance, that's what this is all about. Memories not having to be a living hell. It calls for mindset maintenance. That's why we have, as attractive thinkers, we have a mental breakfast. You have to address your mind every single day before you start your day. That's a part of mindset maintenance, maintaining your mindset, checking in with your mindset all throughout the day to make sure that your mind isn't slipping into and triggering memories that don't make you feel. Sometimes, to shed, people are experiencing depression, anxiety, low level energies and mood swings and things like that. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with you. An old memory done slipped in. If you tune into how you're feeling, you can track your feelings back to a thought or a memory. And all you have to do is say, sometimes I feel a certain way and I'm like, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. Nothing's going on. I woke up fantastic and amazing. Why am I feeling like this? I have to sometimes attribute it to, number one, I don't control or dictate all of my emotions and feelings. Some things do slip in, but when you catch it, you've got to catch it, attractive thinker. Like to shed the skit that we did, out with the old, in with the new. You don't let thoughts run rampant in your head. You have to check them at the door. So when you catch it, attractive thinker and visual encourager, now you get to shift that perception. You say no, because see, sometimes just like on autopilot, things can be running on repeat in the background. It's just like you press record and that same record is running and playing all throughout your day until you realize it. Have you ever been humming a song subconsciously and you really don't know it, and then you've been humming this song on and off all day, and then one moment in the day you say, wait a minute, what is up with this song? Sometimes you might go and put the song on to hear what, God is saying to you through the song. Maybe it's a message in it or whatever. But it's possible for things to be running in the background and we not know it, or running in the background and we don't know how to address it. So when we think about these memories and what they trigger, understanding that triggered memories don't have to put me in a state of being in a living hell. They don't have to. You get to dictate. You listen, attractive thinker. What I'm saying to you right now is this. You get to dictate. You have to use the power that's in your mouth. You have to open your mouth and say, no, we're not thinking, not just we're not thinking that, or we're not thinking like that today. We're not going to think about our memories in that fashion that makes us feel less than what we're worth, or makes us cry, or makes us sad, or makes us feel incompetent or not capable. We're not going to think about our memories that way. You get to dictate and choose. You have to open your mouth, use the power. I'm telling you, as soon as you use the power of your words, the weight and the pressure of that emotion, it lifts. But as long as you don't say anything and don't confront it and don't challenge that feeling and that memory, it's going to linger. It's going to linger, and it affects your entire day. It affects your decisions. It affects how you communicate with your family. It affects how you feel about yourself. It affects opportunities, whether you're going to take them or not. When you don't feel good, you don't take opportunities. When you feel less than 2 cents, you don't even feel worthy of an opportunity. So it is necessary. It is a sense of urgency to make sure, like Tichet said, you're maintaining your mind and you're checking your thoughts and feelings at the door and not letting them, allowing them to run rampant all throughout your day on repeat. That silent little subtle recording that's playing in the background, dictating all of your choices and decisions, dictating how you feel, and literally controlling your day. Because if it's playing in the background, it's controlling your day. So when we talk about memories, it doesn't have to be a living hell. It really doesn't. It's a choice. Back to you, Tichet.
You said, Dr. Toni, about confronting it and facing it. A lot of the times, those memories are there because we weren't paying attention. We have to get so used to paying attention to everything that is so important to us, such as how we're feeling, what triggers us. We have to get used to paying attention to everything around us, because if we don't, then we're dealing with things that are hidden in the background, like you said in the song. One of the things that my father was a drummer, and one of the things that he taught me was how to listen to the music as a whole, right? And I taught my daughter the same way. He taught me, to listen to the different the different instruments. He taught me to listen to the different instruments. When you listen to the different instruments and you allow those instruments to stand out, there's a whole group of instruments playing in one song. When you pay attention, you'll get so many different songs out of that one song, right? And I like to do the same thing when I listen to like a group of women who might sing. I like to go back through the song and listen to how each one brought their own thing to the song, right? And the reason why I pay attention to that is because I want to get used to paying attention to my life that way. My life is a song. Our life is a song. And we have to pay attention to what makes up our life. We have to pay attention to all the instruments, all the power, all of the resources, all of the people, all of the connections, all of the interactions that make up our life. We have to pay attention to the decisions that make up our life. We have to pay attention to the situation and the circumstances that make up our life, but also how we deal with those circumstances, which is very important. Paying attention to your life and what makes up your entire song allows you to hear what's playing in the background, that background music. Like he used to tell me when I'm playing the drums, go, and you hear different things, right? And when we're paying attention to that, now when I hear a song, I hear the whole song, where before I was listening to just the words and then I might just hear the beat and then it wasn't a full song. But to get the best out of your life is when you finally hear your whole song. Mm-hmm. When you hear your whole song and then you go out there and you play your song in power, your song will begin to minister to you. Yes, your life will actually minister to you. Why? Because your song is powerful. It has always been powerful. It's been powerful before you got here, right? What makes you you is powerful. So when you then take your song, you have your pain, you have your power, you have your lesson, you have your blessing, and you go out there and you serve it. Then your pain is not in vain. And nobody wants to go through nothing for nothing. We don't want to just be going through pain just to be going through. So if you have to go through it, like Dr. Toni said, you have to make it count, right? And so if I'm going to make it count, I need to get something out of this. Well, how do we make it count? If anybody can benefit from me going through what I'm going through, I'm gonna make sure that they can benefit. One of the people that benefits from us is the generation that's coming behind us. I made sure to put out the fires that was trailing on me so that my daughter didn't have to walk through that same fire. I made sure that she knew this is what I dealt with. So when I hand the baton, she doesn't have to carry my demons with me. She doesn't have to carry my pain with her. She doesn't have to carry it with her, right? And so when I hand the baton, I want to hand that baton to her freely with instructions and with the expertise that I have. I don't want my daughter, none of us want our children going through what we went through. Well, how do we prevent that? Is if we allow the healing in and show them what healing looks like. We have to show the generations, and even the generation, our generation, the generation above us and below us, we have to show them what coming through something and conquering something looks like. What does more than a conqueror look like if you never had to conquer anything? What does greatness look like if you had never had to conquer anything? How does one become great if they never had to come through a circumstance, situation, or break through a wall or jump over a hurdle? How does one become great if they never had to see what's in them? Sometimes the situation and circumstances you go through happens so that you can see what comes out once you're broken. Once you're broken open and all your stuff is falling out, now you get to see what's in you. Now you get to see your dominant beliefs, your dominant ways of living, your morals and your values, now that you're broken. You ever hear when somebody's mad and they come to you and they popping off and they going da, 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 and they say all this negative, angry stuff? It wasn't because you made them so angry that all of a sudden they're showing that negative side of them. That negative side of them has been there. That negative side of them was already there. This was just an opportunity for them to expose it. This is why when people are drunk or angry and they're saying things that are harmful or abusive, that to me, I'm not gonna sit there and I'm not gonna carry it, but I'm also not going to let them take that, like, you give an apology for open sore. No, we have to deal with this stuff. You can't give an apology when you're still feeling the reason why you did that. You can't beat me and then say sorry. You can't beat me physically, mentally. It doesn't always have to be physical, but you can't beat me psychologically and then say I'm sorry, because I have to deal with the aftermath. Sorry only believes you and don't believe me. Now, here's the thing about forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It has nothing to do with the other person. Forgiveness is saying to yourself, it's for you, saying to yourself, I will not carry around this pain with me. I will not carry around this monkey on my back. I have to learn to let it go. So I'm going to forgive it. I am okay. Forgiveness of that is saying, I am okay, not, okay, we can go back to being the way that we were before this happened. Because if you were sexually assaulted, you're not going to go and put yourself back in a place to be sexually assaulted. You're not going to go and sit with whoever sexually assaulted you and act like it never happened. But you can heal from that. And when you see them, not have the anger from that, and not let them continue to control your life from them taking away your innocence, or from them taking away your right to be happy and to be free. Because that's what happens when someone comes and they do something, they take away, we feel as though they have taken something from us. We feel as though they have taken away our right to be joyful. We feel like they have taken away our ability to have our ability to have a great time, right? They're inflicting pain on us. And so we feel bad about that, but they don't have to keep doing it over and over again. If I carried everybody, and I once did, that's how I ended up in depression. If I carried everything everybody did to me, I feel like I would be so weighed down that I would have such a hard time getting up under all of that rubble. So eventually I had to start plucking them off one by one. Okay, I forgive this. Okay, I forgive that. Okay, I forgive this. And you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. Forgiveness has nothing to do with another person saying I'm sorry. In fact, they don't even have to say I'm sorry in order for you to forgive them, because the forgiveness is for you. And again, this goes down to your choice to be free, your choice to be great, your choice to turn pain into power. It goes down to that. You want to make something out of the lemons that you were given. That is definitely a decision that takes work. But as long as we make that decision and that choice to not have our mind live a living hell, we can make it through anything. And once you know you can make it through anything, you can start preventing some things from happening. You can start understanding, what mindset was I in when this happened? What made me stay in this relationship? What made me choose that house? What made me choose this job? What made me choose this and allow myself to be devalued like I didn't mean anything? What was that mindset? And then what happens is, when you get past that mindset, you understand your power, and then you stop letting people devalue you. You stop placing your value in other people and what they say and do. You start knowing your value, and then when you sense that something that they'll do, say, be, have, or give, or some sort of situation that might devalue, you'll walk away before it starts, because you'll value yourself enough to say, I will not participate in that. Now, here's the thing: participation. When you choose to carry what happened to you over and over again, you're saying to yourself, I'm choosing to participate in that activity over and over again. I'm choosing to participate in the fact that she didn't do this, he didn't do that, they didn't give this, they didn't do that. I'm choosing to put that in today. And I'm choosing to participate in that over and over again. Even though that happened 20 years ago, I'm going to participate in that today, because it don't make no sense how they did da 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 da. You know what I mean? How do you justify putting yourself through the pain of that over and over and over again? When you allow yourself to deal with what has happened as if it has happened with the ed at the end, and not as if it is happening, you can allow yourself to shift and shape your life into something other than that. You have to choose. There's other thoughts that can be had, so you don't have to live like that. You don't have to have your mind a living hell. And that's where it starts, understanding that you don't have to. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
Attractive thinkers, I want you to make sure you captured those gems that Tichet just dropped in your attractive thinker notebook, because this is something very, very important that you're going to use and refer to going forward throughout your day and your week. What we're trying to say here, and we trust that you are getting the message. Memories do come up. Things trigger them, but they don't have to be a living hell. As soon as you feel your energy drop based on a memory, you get to shift. You have to open your mouth and use your power and say, this is how I'm going to think about that. And you choose an empowering way, an empowering perspective. And you know it's an empowering perspective because you feel good. You don't feel bad about the memory. You find something good in it that you can use. Yes, the memory may have been something devastating. Of course, it had to be in order to trigger these emotions and feelings. But there is something good about it that you got from it that you can focus on, so that you're training yourself to focus on this good thing when that memory is triggered. Every time that memory is triggered and it makes you feel bad, shift, pull out the good, and that memory, the thought will begin to align with the feeling that you're triggering, that you're overpowering these negative emotions and energies with. Like the first thing that comes, that comes up to Shet when an emotion or a memory is triggered is it's an attack on our identity. The first thing that gets attacked is who you are: unworthy, not good enough, less than, you don't feel good about yourself. Why is it the identity that's the first place of attack? And that's important because we can lose a lot of things in this life. When we lose ourselves, we've lost everything. And that's the target. So if that's the target, that's the first thing that we experience is an attack on our identity. We have to open our mouths and use our power and counteract that, because your identity, who you are, is everything, and it affects everything. So you have to remind your mind through mindset maintenance, I am good enough. Something, listen, you might want examples. Something as small as opening your mouth, using the power and the sound of your voice to say, no, I am good enough. Yes, I can't explain why that happened. Yes, I may have wanted a better outcome or it to turn out a different way, but it's not a reflection of my worth. I'm still fantastic and amazing. I'm still powerful. I'm still creative. I'm still anointed. I'm still able to live my dream, finish my book, and be prosperous in my business. Yes, I am worthy. Just because I experienced that and it hurt and it stopped me in my tracks for a moment, it doesn't mean I'm not worthy. It doesn't mean that I'm not worthy. You see, and then you sit with that feeling. How does that feel? Attractive thinker and visual encourager. That feels a lot better than not using your power and engaging in a mental fight, whereas you're not even fighting back. Whereas you're allowing yourself to be mentally beat up. So it was something that you said, Tichet. You said, now this is, I looked at this as the statement that you made, it wrapped this whole conversation up. Attractive thinkers, when you go through something, you get the lesson and the blessing and you teach it. That's a way to make your pain count so that your pain is not in vain. So when you get a memory that's triggered and it triggers an emotion that doesn't make you feel good about yourself, when you take the lesson and the blessing from the pain and you turn around and use your pain to minimize somebody else's pain, that's how you make it count. And that memory is no longer a living hell because you're using it for good. You're using it for good. Can you use it for good? Can you take what you've been through? Now, you gain strength from it because you went through it, and you've overcome it because you're not experiencing it right now and you're living and thriving in life. Can you use what you've been through and help somebody else so that they don't have to experience the pain and the trauma of what you've already overcome? You've overcome it. You're strong. You're strong enough to lend a hand and help someone else. I mean, because as attractive thinkers and visual encouragers, we don't like to see people in pain. We are problem solvers. We are the solution, the antidote to end the pain. So what do we use to end the pain? The trauma and the pain that we've been through, that we've pulled good from. Every good that you can pull from your pain is a solution, an antidote for someone else's pain. You can use it to minimize the pain in others. And that's what makes your pain count. You make your pain count because it becomes healing for someone else. That's how you use your pain. You don't allow yourself to be in pain because it's something you went through and nothing good comes from it. It doesn't make you feel good. It's not helping anybody else. You haven't pulled a great story from it that when people hear it, they get delivered and the weight lifts. This is how you make the experience count, because if it has to hurt in an attractive thinker or visual encourager's life, it has to count. We're not like everyone else. We don't just go through things and can't wait to get out of them so we can move on to the next thing. And we don't pull something from the experience. We know as attractive thinkers, if we had to experience it, there must be something in it that I needed to use to advance my life and the lives of others. There's something in it that I can use. It's not, as an attractive thinker and visual encourager, the things we experience are not just so we can be beat up. It's not so that we can be in pain. It's so that we can flip it and use it and shift the perception of it so that we can use it to help many other people. And this is how you make your memories not become a living hell. Dr. Toni Hatton here. your identity coach and get to the root specialist, here to support you in shifting your perception so that you can create an outcome that makes you feel good about yourself, that makes your life feel like it's worth living. You know, we provide tools, mental tools for mental healing, mental strength, and mindset maintenance at the Attractive Thinker Guru. I just launched a global movement, the Attractive Thinker. You can find it on Amazon. It's a 726-page transformational experience. It is not a book. It is a transformational experience to support you with a resource and a guide, some place where you can go to get another thought. Sometimes you can't even think of another thought. We have tools now to support you in thinking another thought. Just flip the pages. You'll come up with another thought. We have resources in the back of the book to support you in thinking attractively and coming up with a new perspective on an old situation. So run on over to Amazon and get your copy of the Attractive Thinker right now. And don't forget your free gift at the Attractive Thinker Guru. We are problem solvers. We have solutions. We have tools to support you and continue to be creative, continue to express the fullest version of yourself, reach your highest potential, finish writing your books, and launch your business ideas, and give birth to those dreams that are held hostage inside of you. Your dreams are to be born, not held on to and just dreamed about. Your dreams are more than just something to dream about. You have to give birth to them in the earth, and we have tools and resources for you to do just that. Tichet, tell our audience how they can get in touch with you, the visual encourager, and give us some final thoughts on today's topic.
Absolutely. We have been putting together Beyond the Break for over 2 years. And this is our way of turning our pain into power. We are deciding that every time we talk about what we went through, that we have a contrasting story to the pain, meaning we have a light story that kind of trumps the dark story. So when I talk about the things that I lost, I'm also talking about what I've gained from losing. Where did I go from losing? And that takes a lot of discipline and a lot of self-assessment and a lot of work, but it's just a matter of being willing to say yes to peace, being willing to say yes to joy, yes to pain, and discovering the joy within. That's what's on my website. You can find me at www.visualencouragement.com. We provide mental support for movers and shakers, for trailblazers, pathfinders, and groundbreakers, for visionaries who desire to move mountains but need help lifting the heaviness so that you can create a new vision for yourself. Go to my contact us page, check out my blog, put in your information, let me know how I can uplift you, enlighten you, and encourage you so that you can live a life of fulfillment beyond the break. Again, that's www.visualencouragement.com. See.
Awesome. You know, Attractive Thinker, as Tichet said, we have a light story that trumps the dark story. Remember, light came from darkness. Light was called forth from darkness. Here at the Attractive Thinker and the Visual Encourager, we're here to support you in shining your light in the midst of darkness, pulling out the light in the midst of darkness. Dr. Toni Hatton here. You always hear us say, our life's work, that's to make your life better. Remember, it is not what you're going through. It's how you're doing it. Think attractively. And we'll see you soon.